Did you know that 1 out of 20 teenagers in Indonesia are diagnosed with some kind of mental disorder, which is about 2.45 million throughout the country? So, how did the mental health crisis of teenagers in Indonesia become this bad? Hello everyone, my name is Jacqueline Handoko from BPK Penabur Bandar Lampung, and I am a teenager from Indonesia. Today, I'm going to be talking about the effects of social media to the mental health of teenagers in Indonesia. Social media seems innocent enough, doesn't it? It helps us to connect with one another, to access the latest news and content, to share information, and entertain ourselves. A recent report found that teenagers spend an average of 8 hours and 39 minutes per day on their gadgets. And I'm not going to lie about it. I was one of those teenagers with excessive screen times on their phones. These days, teenagers are spending more and more time on social media. This has become one of the most contributing factors to the mental health crisis of teenagers in Indonesia. One of the many ways that social media affects our mental health is by making us lose our self-esteem, which I have personally experienced. President Theodore Roosevelt once quoted, "The comparison is the thief of joy." You see, social media makes it so much easier for us to compare ourselves. The moment that we open social media, we are exposed to pictures and videos of other people's seemingly perfect lives, perfect bodies, and perfect friend groups. This prolonged exposure to perfection makes it difficult for us not to compare our imperfect lives with those we see on social media. When in reality, the content that most people post on social media are only the good and happy parts of life, leaving out the ugly and boring ones. Another thing that I've noticed with my prolonged hours of screen time is an increase in worry, stress, and tiredness, which is not uncommon among social media users. I found myself procrastinating in my daily tasks, like schoolwork, chores, and other responsibilities. There are even some times where what started as checking my notifications on Instagram turns into a 2-hour scrolling session, watching one video to others, and before you know it, you lose track of time and lacking sleep. Eventually, your grades will start to drop as a result of procrastinating on social media so much. Low self-esteem, feelings of worry, stress, and sleep deprivation are just the tip of the iceberg. Now more than ever, social media is affecting the mental health of teenagers in Indonesia negatively. However, I'm not trying to imply that social media can only have negative effects on mental health. In fact, social media can positively affect the mental health of teenagers in Indonesia in many ways, such as allowing them to express themselves, to connect and stay up to date with friends and family, to learn new things, and it can even give them a sense of belonging. But there's one crucial thing that many teenagers lack but need in order to experience the positive effects of social media instead of the negative ones, and that is balance. Thomas Merton once said that happiness is not a matter of intensity, but of balance, order, rhythm, and harmony. Knowing when and why to use social media without it getting in the way of our activities and especially our mental health. If you're listening to my speech right now and you realize that you are one of the teenagers in Indonesia whose mental health is being negatively affected by social media, then I encourage you to start finding balance. One of the ways that helped me find balance was by setting time limits on social media apps on my phone. Eventually, with enough discipline, I promise that you will start to see the positive effects of social media on your mental health. That's all for me. Thank you so much for listening to my speech. I hope you have a wonderful day.